While there are only 7 level 5 Espers in Academy City out of over 2 million students, did you know that there are Espers in this city who have the potential to reach the same elite category? All the scientists of the city were under the impression they had the chance of getting there and said, "I don't want to play with you anymore." In order to be given the level 5 classification, you must get approval from Academy City's board of directors, which should include Alistair Crowley, the board chairman of the city. There is also a classified document in the city known as the parameter list, which features all Espers and basically records the max level they would be able to reach, meaning that some of them are forever destined to be powerless level zeros, no matter how hard they try. Gonna cry? Therefore, Academy City invests all of its Esper development resources to the ones who look like they can get to the higher levels, while the other ones, doomed for mediocrity, are left in the gutter. Academy City sure is dreamy. Let's get started with the beginning child, who was the first ever artificial Esper developed in the early days of the city's formation, during the immediate period after World War II. This was just after Alistair had faked his own death, and purchased a third of the firebombed ruins of Tokyo, and then used something called the archetype controller to convince the world to think experimenting on children for science is perfectly normal. This was a time before what we know as the Power Curriculum program wasn't even formed, as the experiments on a beginning child were the first of their kind in the city, with Alistair's attempt to develop Espers at the Abbey of Thelema in the 1920s providing the basis for it. The legendary alleged psychic Mifune Chizuko, who lived during the late Meiji period in Japan, had her data used to help turn the beginning child into an Esper, implying Mifune was a gemstone or natural Esper. The experiments were a success, with the beginning child having the ability to alter the environment around her by terraforming her surroundings to ensure the survival of nearby living creatures in her vicinity. It is believed that Alistair considered her ability too unpredictable and difficult to control, and therefore was placed in a cryo tank so that her data could then be used to create more Espers. She was eventually awoken from her slumber 50 years later, but that's a story for another video. With her ability being very powerful, what level was the beginning child given? The answer is none, as the level system was not even an established concept at this early stage of Academy City's history. However, the data from the beginning child was then used to form the modern day level hierarchy and the power curriculum. She possibly would have been ranked at level 5 if she did exist in the modern day. However, Alistair may have objected due to her not being his cup of tea. Taketsubo Riko is one of 4 members of the dark side organization known as Item, who acts as the support to the other girls who possess the true firepower. She is a level 4 Esper with the ability known as AIM Stalker, which does not make her an actual stalker, as that's more Etzali style. But seriously, this power is basically the ultimate Esper tracker, as she is able to register nearby AIM fields, which then lets Taketsubo locate her target even if they have left the planet itself. An AIM or AIM field is specifically the invisible energy which all Espers passively emit from their bodies. While this doesn't seem like an overly impressive power on paper due to it not being flashy or offensive in nature, Taketsubo is considered a highly valuable asset. AIM Stalker is nearly perfect for hunting down targets, which is why she is such a key member of Item. Most importantly, she arguably has the most potential out of all level 4 Espers, with the parameter list and the scientists in the city anticipating she will eventually become the 8th level 5, due to her current power being more limited. Mugano Shizuri, the 4th rank level 5, forces Taketsubo to consume the body crystal drug to enhance her power. Disclaimer kids, drugs will not turn you into a level 5 Esper, no matter how high you get. Under the boost of the drug, the range and power of her ability is increased for a short duration of time, with the drawbacks being that repeated use of body crystal can be deadly for the user. The question is, what would Takitsubo be like as a full level 5? It is implied that the next stage of her power would be to completely influence AIM fields, being able to manipulate them at will. This would break the entire Esper system of the city, as she would be able to give others crazy powers if she wanted, turning level 0s into level 5s, or nerfing a level 5 like Accelerator back to being a helpless cripple. Due to this invalidating the surface function of Academy City, she would be known as the Academy Individual. It is somewhat believed Takitsubo might have manifested part of this power already, as theorized by Kakina Teitoku, who believes she might have been able to cause a disturbance in his own AIM field without her being even aware of it. But we have still yet to see the next stage of Takitsubo's progression. Next is another member of Academy City's dark side, Musuhime Owaki of Group, who is also a level 4 Esper. Owaki's ability, Move Point, is regarded as the most powerful teleportation ability in the city, minus whatever this thing was. We don't count the Accelerator manga. Unlike Kuroko, who is limited to only teleporting herself and other objects, up to 130.7 kilograms in mass via physical contact. Owaki can teleport herself and anything in her field of vision up to 4,520 kilograms, usually employing the use of a torch. Yes, torch, not flashlight, Americans. We invented this language, and then pointing it towards her desired target. However, Owaki's progress was hindered as a child, due to an accident which involved teleporting herself between a wall. I swear, I've heard of something like that before. Nah, never mind. This was traumatic for Owaki, and made her not want to use Move Point on herself unless she had no other choice, as she often vomits after teleporting herself as a result. If this never happened, it is possible that Owaki's power development would have been given priority by Academy City, but after the accident, this progression was ceased, likely ending Owaki's chance of being classed as a level 5 for good. Despite Owaki's drawbacks, which affect her power, Move Point remains a super powerful ability, especially when it goes out of control. Still no match for this guy though. We now have Mitsuari Ayu, and she is only a level 3 Esper, but she had so much more potential. With the Mental Stinger ability, which is a power that controls the mind via influencing the moisture in the brain, she was reliant on a device such as a phone that is capable of taking photographs. At the Clone Dolly Ideal Lab, she was one of the candidates to become a level 5 Esper, along with Shokuho Misaki, another girl with a mind-controlling ability known as Mental Out, as the tree diagram supercomputer had estimated that either Ayu or Misaki could level up to 5. One achieving the prestigious rank, and the other one doomed to fail. While both possess powerful mental abilities in their own right, only one would be selected to become level 5, with that, of course, being Misaki. Ayu, on the other hand, was shafted pretty hard, not even being given the rank of level 4, but an even lower level 3. The parameter list addressed Ayu as the failure of the two mental ability Espers, and so all the efforts and research for Esper development was then concentrated on Misaki. Due to this, Ayu began to despise Misaki, having a vendetta against her and blaming the Queen Bee for all her life's failures. Ah, poor Ayu. I'm sure she remains mentally stable after this. Now let's talk about another girl who was at the Ideal Lab, Hokaze Junko. You may know her as the pink-haired ringlet curl girl who is Misaki's right-hand lady. And for good reason, as Junko is a pretty powerful Esper who excels in physical close-quarters combat, which compensates for Misaki's notorious limitations in that department. Junko is a level 4 Esper with the Rampage Dress ability, which is classified under the Electromaster umbrella of powers due to it being electricity-based. Junko's progress was noted by scientists at the lab, as her ability was noted to be very strong, not only being able to strengthen her body, but also regenerate injuries nearly instantly. Rampage Dress, however, placed a burden on both her body and mind, causing her pain. A subconscious defense mechanism to prevent her from using the full extent of her power. Due to this hindrance, Junko was consequently not classed as a level 5, but with the Astral Buddy power of Yuri Senya, or the Ghost Girl, she is able to use her full power unrestricted for a much longer period of time, allowing Junko to even contend with Sogita Gunher, the 7th ranked level 5. Therefore, it can likely be assumed that this state would be what Junko would be like if she did reach level 5. Speaking of Sogita, don't forget I'll be explaining all his crazy ass abilities in addition to a theory about his power at 22k subs, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see that video. Shundan Kimi is next, who is a character from the Railgun manga, so you have been warned about spoilers. Kimi was a child error, first classed as level 0, until she and her friends were taken into an Esper power boosting lab as research specimens. However, after doing tests on Kimi, the scientists were mysteriously not able to detect her aim field, which all Espers should passively emit, irrespective of level. Either her power was unable to manifest, or their sensors were simply unable to detect it. Turned out to be the latter, as eventually they figured out she was too dangerous to keep alive in Mace Windu fashion, and attempted to kill Kimi when she was just a young child. But what is her ability that is so threatening? Well, it was reported a black hole emerged in the universe approximately 12 billion light years away. At the exact same time, Kimi's aim field was confirmed while conducting experiments on her, believing the black hole was in some way connected to Kimi's ability, which would make her classified as a holistic Esper, which functions in reverse to how Esper powers normally work. Instead of a personal reality in the Esper's mind causing the change in the macroscopic reality outside of the brain, a macroscopic event or change occurs, which then can influence something on a microscopic level. Essentially, this would mean that the black hole helped manifest Kimi's power, if she were truly a holistic Esper, that is. Since it stated that her power caused the creation of the black hole, it should be the other way around if Kimi was to be one. As a result of the discovery, the scientists requested the parameter list be updated for Kimi to be included as the 9th rank level 5, under the assumption Takitsubo would be accepted as the 8th. But I guess for some reason, they didn't get a response. Because of Kimi's crazy power, it actually attracted Toma's Angel Dragon to use her as a power source and as a new host. Last but not least, we have a character from the light novels known as Mai Dono Hoshimi, which is an alias as we don't know her real name. Seriously, Mai Dono might be a contender for the strongest level 4 in the franchise due to the sheer scale and feats of her telekinesis ability. Basically, she can move stuff with her mind. Mai Dono is, however, unable to control human beings with her power and effectively ragdoll them. But it doesn't really matter, as she can overpower even a level 5 Esper, forcing Academy City's Railgun to feel outmatched, causing all Misaka fans to cry due to their waifu being power crept. How the hell is it possible that Mai Dono is ranked lower? Well, during Mai Dono's Esper development, her mind was further optimized for using her power via what is known as the signal slide method, prioritizing her brain's function towards using her power, but consequently affecting her normal cognitive function. Despite her insane power, she's unable to learn how to use chopsticks, much to the dismay of the entirety of East Asia and herself. And so, Mai Dono's terrible villain motivation was born. She is regarded as the strongest telekinesis user in Academy City, due to the sheer force she can create from nothing. She had not been approved as level 5, as the higher-ups did not see any economic value or alternate uses for her power besides killing and destruction. Mai Dono's power is so great, she can crush a 50-foot skyscraper into a little softball. What's even more mind-blowing is that she created a fault line in the Earth's crust under Academy City, while shaking the entire underground structure of the city at the same time. Honestly, out of all the candidates who deserve to be level 5. I think it's crazy that my dono was not accepted for this feat alone. That pretty much covers it. Let me know down below in the comments which Esper on this list do you think deserves to be level 5 and why. And if you want more content about the level 5 Espers, click on these videos on screen right now.